Okay, aloha everyone. This is Miracle King, and I am here on this beautiful day in Singapore as we are nearing the solstice window here and completing this massive transformational year of 2022. I know that I've been in a deep dive of reflecting on this year and actually all the years leading up to this year, and really just reviewing so much of the information I've received from the divine intelligence and my connection with the Council of 12, and tuning into following this white rabbit into this new personal sovereign narrative. And I really feel, if I can really share my heart today, that this will also inspire some of you to really reflect on your life and look at the possibilities of where we're at as both individuals and with our families and with our friends and our communities, as well as the whole human tribe that's still in a healthy, radiant body and choosing to show up for the possibilities of where we're going and what we're being and doing in order to really solidify the authenticity of where we're going. And in a lot of ways, everything for me has culminated into this completion of this year of 2022, this Gregorian year. And so much information has come to me through, obviously in 2003, some of you know or don't know, that I received a vision of the future of the year 2022 and beyond. And I was shown that the earth was shifted into a whole new vibration and frequency, and that I was part of a group during that time when I left my body and had this future-scape, parallel dimensional reality shown to me of how beyond 2022 what the world would look like, as well as working on these projects called Communiversity Institute, and the first one being in Mount Shasta, and then Hawaii and Bali, and then many other locations around the planet. And back then, I was told that this year of 2022 and everything leading up from 2003 to 2022 would be a ramping up. Consciousness every Gregorian year would be ramping up and coming into this full fruition of, everything that we've been through in the last few years with the pandemic, and then leading up to completing this year. And even when I became Miracle 5 years ago, I also received a vision signifying the date of 2022 and how important it was to do as much as I could to anchor the blueprint, at least online or into the conscious awareness of many people that are part of this epic project of domes and connection with the potential of what we can do together when we come into coherency. We bring collective intention, collective vibration, and collective action together. And what I found is that, honestly, there has been so much implosive energy at this time, because we have gone to this equality state where there's a giant dysfunctional dissertation happening between these two ages of the completion age, which is the Kali Yuga, and then this actualization of this multidimensional golden age. And we're in this transition, sort of a collective bardo between these two ages. And we're still seeing the tail end of this Iron Age or this Kali Yuga age playing out. And I don't even need to get into it because I've talked about it enough. But I think personally, I have in this last year continued to share very honestly and humbly what I've been going through. And I feel that in this vulnerable state, that it is so important for us, especially those of us who know that what we're seeing is not real. What we're seeing is potentially dystopian. What we're seeing is a narrative or a storyline that I don't buy into. And I know a lot of you who are listening to me, who've been following Communiversity Portal and my work as Mirakle-Weihua-Lokahi King, you're also not buying into it. So the real quest is what are we buying into? If everyone is consuming and everyone's trying to convince everyone else to make as much money as possible and survive and take care of their children and their families and continue this thread of using technology and all the nifty things that is happening right now, including this topic of artificial intelligence. But I'm not buying into it. And it's not that I want to create more dysfunctionality with any of you or create more separation, but there has to be a point in time where we say no and we just completely draw the line in the sand. And it's on the fence right now, especially in the next unfolding of the year 2023 and 2024 and beyond. There's a potential for things to get very ignorant and confused in the narrative that most people, most humanity are buying into. And I just want to say that with all the neurochemicals that are being put out through AI to entice us, to seduce us, to inspire us even, to wow us, with all the different capabilities of what this wormhole that is connected to what I feel is a narrative that is malevolent. It is a narrative that wants to hijack the soul of every individual in the collective humanity as much as possible. And of course we know, and it's scary, because it involves with the children, it involves our families, it involves how we can navigate goods and services, and it's also this concept of this social credit system that has already been perpetrated by the Communist Chinese Party government upon the Chinese people, and it's being rolled out in other countries as we speak, as tests, beta tests. And we are like guinea pigs right now. We have become human guinea pigs for this narrative that I don't buy into. One solid bit of this biobot, transhumanist, artificial intelligence great reset. And I'm at the point in my life, just speaking very frank and directly and honestly, where I've been receiving guidance in the last moon cycle leading up to the end of this year that I'm going to have to take a very large break from the continuous soul desire to engage with all of you on technology, on the socials, the Instagram, IG, the FB, Facebooks, the Twitters, the everything else that's available for us, including here even on this YouTube channel. And I have so many of my friends who have had to go to other alternative channels like Rumble and BitChute because they've been, the algorithm, they've banned them from speaking out about this very subject. And I do feel that when we get to a vibration of the field of unity, that we can transcend all this duality, including being banned or not being banned, or being accepted or not being accepted. But the internal guidance has been for me to take a very long break and a big timeout, a technocratic technology fast, a long retreat from the engagement that I've had, at least the little I've had. I've connected with all of you and brought information out. My goal this year was to release transmission on Communiversity Portal once a month. And what I've been receiving is that I've kind of been in between who I've been and who I've become. And there's still semblance of this social, technocratic, online persona of who I was and what I represented for people in my past life, in this life. And in order for me to fully become the miracle who's nourished and nurtured and grounded and able to really be of service again with personal sovereign work, and to go beyond just putting everything online, which is a constant thing. And I know a lot of us, especially the younger generation, this is how they feel they can only make a living. But what I'm most concerned about is that when we all do that, that there's going to be a time when this credit system initializes. And if you choose to speak out of line or out of the narrative, then all of your funds on your digital wallet that will be governed by centralized power, by the governments of the world government, including the US, that all of your currency, your fiat currency, or even your CBDs, centralized digital currency, will all be locked. And you will not be able to exchange goods and services. You will not be able to purchase a home. You will not be able to pay your mortgage. You will not be able to fly. These are all things that are actually on the radar right now. And I don't buy into it. I don't buy into it at all. And instead of turning a blind eye, like I know some influencer friends have chosen not to speak out about this, I cannot, in my own soul conviction, not speak out about this because I don't buy into it. And I think the buying aspect, those three that make up BUI, is so important because we're moving beyond this cancel woke culture into a realization that our spirit, our sovereignty, our connection into our God avatar and who we really are is so crucial, away from the technocratic matrix that is on a narrative to completely control and potentially enslave our minds and dictate what it is that we should or could or will do, when it is our own personal will that has to be protected right now. And we all have a choice. We have a choice to, continue to use this screen more than we engage with humanity or touch humanity or interact and interface with humanity or dance or move or hug or love or bliss out with humanity. Or we can manage our time and go half and half, or whatever the percentage is for you, or how many screens you have and how much engagement you have on the screens. Or we can also choose to completely let go of the screen and move into this fundamentally loneliness in this, because there's a lot of people on the screen right now, and there's not a lot of people that are saying, no, I'm not using the screen at all. And I've been debating this for a long time. It's come in waves, especially since I became Miracle in the last 5 or 6 years, and seeing and observing, collectively witnessing the witness, collectively observing the observer of what is happening with the organism of humanity through this disorganized chaos and this leveraging of moving into more and more technology, which for me is a fall. And I'm not buying into the fall because I've already fallen and I don't need to fall again. But I do know that some people need to fall. And maybe that's good for you, but it's certainly not what I'm choosing. And so I wanted to make this last video to just kind of close out 2022, and really it's a big circle within circle within circle, and a big spiral within spiral within spiral for me personally, in the sense of this number 22 and this year being a completion for me, a completion for how I've been navigating as Mirakle-Weihua-Lokahi King, as a visioneer alchemist of Communiversity, how I've been networking, interfacing with many different alliance groups who are wanting and desiring the same thing, from musicians to sound healers to other visioneers to founders of land projects and retreat centers and healing centers and regenerative architecture spaces, and some of those things are really thriving, some of those things are moving forward. But I think as someone who's been a leader of his own vision, I'm now going through this completion. I'm going through this death, so to speak, of my personality and how I've been creating my personal reality. And I'm realizing that I need to reground and nourish a new personal sovereign narrative. And it has to be away from the way I've been engaging with humanity through technology. And I really need to take that deep dive. And my invitation is that, first of all, we are this collective avatar. I recently just saw The Way of Water, and it really inspired me. It made me realize that this theme of protection of what's sacred, protection of what is what we most core value in our lives, whether that be family, whether that be our friends, our community, our tribe, whether it be our own sovereign alone time, connected to the all one, because we are God. I am a mother, father, God, goddess, man, a magi, alchemist, visionary, king, man, and I'm also just a human being. And that's actually been really difficult for me to really acknowledge that, and to just come back to the simplicity of what it means to be human, away from, so much of my deep dive into the darkness, into the seven hells of who is behind all of these rituals and occult, malevolent frequencies and vibrations, and the quest of why is there so much suffering? Why is there so much heartache? Why is there so much pain? And why is there so much division happening right now? Well, it's been difficult for me. It's been really difficult to be on that path of investigation of that pain and suffering, which has been my personal choice consciously and my narrative. But I've also realized I've taken on a lot of sheaths or shielding in order to protect myself while diving deep into these frequencies and vibrations that are not things that I would, if I was just tuning into my softer, nourishing heart, I wouldn't choose to do. But I've always been the warrior, in the sense of, okay, I'll carry this torch like the jaguar, and I'll go into those dark places and I will find the light. And it's come to a really deep realization that a new personal sovereign narrative has to be gently and gracefully honored. And it's almost like my deeper yin, my own sacred inner feminine, as well as my inner child, have been screaming out that I can no longer continue operating, at least in this fashion. And so epigenetically, going into a deep dive away from engagement with the socials, And I really wanted just to send a really deep appreciation for all of you. And coming from my deep soul heart, I care so much about where the awakened tribe, the family of humanity, is going. In this day and age, so many of us are, just moving in so many different directions. Lots of us are transitioning. Some of us have found our spot and our place, and I congratulate you. I'm still discovering that. When I take away the hat of being this visionary, or being this healer, or being this inspiring person, or being the one who's kind of on the leading end with the torch in the darkness, I've played this role many lifetimes, and it's time to go towards my Achilles heel, which is a deep ground, deep nourishing seeding. I've tried to do this in many locations around the planet, and the key word is I've tried. And now I'm at a point where I can no longer try. I have to do. And that takes me to sort of move away from this desire to be the fish, the dolphin, the whale, swimming in the infinite sea, going to many different coral communities, and actually really finding and discovering away from technology who I am, what I am, and really asking that question, who am I if I'm not all of these other hats? I've done this many times before, but this one seems like a really big one, and I have a lot of writing to do. I have a lot of clear channeling to do and streaming of who I really am, in order for me to come out at a whole new ground, at a whole new level of solid growth and nourishment and expansion. I just want to thank everyone this year for all your support, for all the beautiful beings that I've been able to connect with in Mexico earlier this year, as well as in El Salvador, and of course in beloved Mount Shasta, and in Colorado, and all these places I got to touch, including letting go of Mount Shasta and coming back home, which has been really powerful and nourishing and blissful, to Singapore, as well as Mama Bali. Just really feeling immense gratitude for all the communities and the support and the people that you know who you are, and I love you so much. And also all of you who've just been listening to me and really receiving inspiration, and know that when the time is divinely, factually correct, and I'm able, I will come back to Communiversity Portal. We'll come back to being of service in a new way that will be solid and will be in a whole new timeline. And who knows what the environment will be, or I do know my body will be radiant and healthy, and that's also something that I'm moving deeper into taking more responsibility for, and managing my energy more. And I look forward to doing that offline and off-grid. So I invite you this holiday season, or this holy days of our lives, to thrive, and to also choose to go deeper in to your practice, to your meditation, to get coherent. And I also invite you to take more time off technology and off the screens, and do a screen fast, and move into light deprivation, the dark room, do some water and even dry fasting, and spend some time in your all one, getting very clear with the full connection. And I promise you, I'll be right there with you, and we will meet again. So thank you so much for being part of Communiversity Portal. Just know this portal is closing. And it will open in the perfect divine time. I'm sending you so much love and deep alohas. Mahalo ke akua, suksama muali, aho matakuyasan.